Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to part two of Animal Farts and Gilmore Girls, being recorded not even a moment after we finished the previous part.
I didn't
Um,
even take a breath.
as you can hear, my voice, my guest is still Megan Arnold. Say hello, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Um, I'm honestly, I thought you were going to do hello, Megan. I thought you were going to do that classic
Oh,
joke in Lorelai Gilmore fashion, because in this half of Animal Farts and Gilmore Girls, we will of course continue a little bit with Animal Farts, I think, but I think this one will focus mostly on the Gilmore Girls part of the conversation. But you left us with a cliffhanger in the previous episode. I don't know why I'm talking like this, where I feel the need to catch everyone up and speak in something of a robotic voice.
I
But,
don't. Excuse me. I had the
but
hiccups earlier, so I'm really nervous that I'm gonna get them back.
again, that just it makes the conversation even better. It makes it more real, you know.
Yeah. I sounded really
Um,
dumb when I was ordering my food.
Say it again.
I was ordering food earlier and sounded really dumb, and I'm pretty sure they were like, "We need to give this woman the subpar hibachi chicken."
One time at work, someone called and my boss answered the phone. And I don't remember what the question was, but when he's telling me the story back, it was something along like I work. I don't want to say the name of the company, but I work in a supermarket chain, regional supermarket chain, and I work in the produce department. Anyone, of course, who knows me, chances are they are the ones listening to this, so they know already. But um, for when Megan hits up her other friends going, "Hey, I was on this really weird thing. Listen to me and this guy talk about weird stuff." Um, but I work in the produce department, and so let's just say they were calling about, like, oh, do you have spaghetti squash in? Because that's not something we have in all the time. But it was something along the lines of, the boss is telling me this story. He goes, I got this guy on the phone before who, he goes, I'll tell you the exact conversation. And he's like, he called and said, hello, do you have any spaghetti hiccup squash there? And I'm like, no. And he's like, yes. Immediately in the middle of the spaghetti hiccup squash.
Why not just go to the grocery? Get this like uh
Because if we don't have it, you don't want to waste a trip.
I'm one for leaving the house just for the heck of it.
But see, there you go again. You're an outside person. Two, I know I've never been in. I've actually been in one of the like subsidiary sister company things, but I know the company that owns your at least one of your local grocery stores, and from what I hear, they're a very good company. They're very nice, so I would think going there wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, it's nice. But they have special things that I like to call sample-tizers. And that's when you go to go get your groceries for dinner, they have samples out and I eat my fill because I'm a glutton.
My store only has samples. I think it's just Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday, but I think it's just Friday and Saturday. I know. Excuse me, I just burped. There we go.
Yes.
I know for sure that it's Friday and Saturday because whatever they happen to be sampling, I always find, like, if it's like a thing of ice cream or whatever, I always find the little cups throughout my department because people apparently
Yeah.
don't know where a garbage can is or don't know where to ask for a garbage or anything. So, like, let's just leave, a cup of something or an empty cup of something in with the apples or whatever.
Yeah, I usually try to find a trash can or stick it in my purse, and then I have weird random toothpicks and things creating salmonella in my purse.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're like an upstanding, respectable person.
I wouldn't go that
Com-
far.
compared to some people that I have seen at my store, you are an upstanding, respectable person.
Well, thank you. So Gypsy's real name.
Yes, the cliffhanger from the previous
The
episode.
cliffhanger. Everybody is waiting. They want to know. Uh, so before we got her, Mike and I were driving through downtown, and there's this restaurant called Babylon, and it's supposed to be like this really swanky place. And I looked over at it, and my brain, as it does, went a little frazzled, and I couldn't understand why they had named it Babylon. So I turned to him and said, Babylon? What is this Babylon? And he
Oh,
laughed, and we went on our merry way. So several weeks later, we got a little kitten, and her name was Gypsy. And being, I don't know, I always feel really weird that her name is Gypsy because it's like, oh, that's kind of a derogatory term these days. Like, I don't know. Gypsies are cool, but some people are offended. And then some people throw gypsy weddings, and it's just like, why did I want to name my cat that? But she was already named Gypsy, so we kept it, and the vet knows her as Gypsy. But uh, we started calling her, oh, baby kitty. Like, oh, she's a little baby kitty, and she's precious. And that evolved into baby lawn because we thought it was funny because of that restaurant, Baby Lawn.
oh, see, I always thought that you named her Gypsy because of the Stevie Nicks song.
Oh, I love that song, but no, she was pre-named. It was one of those litters where they name everybody with a letter. And so I think actually one of the cats' names was Gary. uh, and she was paired with another one named Milo, but all of the other ones were G. But so it started as like, well, we're not going to call her Gypsy because it just sounds weird rolling off the tongue. So she was Baby Kitty. And then since we went by that restaurant, she was Baby Lawn, which was pretty funny. And then eventually it stuck. And now it's just Lawn. She is Lawn. Or sometimes Lano. Or sometimes Queen Lano. So
Oh.
the cat's name is Lawn, and that's a man's name, but she's a girl, and it's pretty funny.
Well, yeah,
And
I immediately think Lon Chaney.
yeah, me too. But the funny part is that there's a stray that looks exactly like her. And so we've started feeding him to try to like get him on the porch and slowly adopt him, but he's super skittish and I don't think it's gonna happen. But he Mike started calling him Bizarro Lawn, and that evolved into calling him Null because that's lawn spelled backwards.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's we have dumb cat names. It wasn't really a good cliffhanger at all.
But you know what? It doesn't need to be because as long as it got them back, it's like a clickbait thing, you know? As long as it got them in, we get the view count, and that's all we care about here. No, we're not those kinds of people.
No, it's like when you see the article that says 40 amazing uses for WD-40 and the first five are all about lubricating things and you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
No, this is not what I expected. Yeah, I did that.
But you know what I think they are expecting?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls discussion.
Oh my God. I love it so much. I cried. Oh God, I cry at everything though. Sorry.
Feel the need to preface by saying once again, said it in the previous one, but I like to think of podcasts like Stan Lee thinks about comics, that every one is someone's first. So in case you're jumping in on this one for the before you listen to the previous one, thank you first of all. Second of all, why would you start with part 2 of a in a discussion?
Seriously.
That's weird. But we do
Stop it.
thank you though because
Go
we're
back.
all about the view count here. Um, but of course, spoilers on Gilmore Girls and the Gilmore Girls continuation series, A
Oh my
Year in the
God.
Life. So just need for clarity's sake to point that out.
Yeah. Blech. Sorry. My. Sorry. Go on. I'm just very
So,
angry.
I have to say, because of course it's the hot topic coming out of that series. Um, Maybe not in that exact context, but I absolutely predicted for a few years that that would be the final four words.
Really?
I'll tell you straight up, and my mother is a few rooms away, and I will call her in if need be. Not that it really matters, because like of course she would say, whatever, it just to. Well, no, that's not true. She actually would, if it wasn't the case, she would be like, no, he's lying to you right now. Um, but I pretty much always thought that it was going to be one of them saying, I'm pregnant, and the other one saying, me too. And I thought that was going to be the final four words. I never once pictured it as a combination of three from one from another.
Hmm.
I always thought it was going to be two and two, and I'm pregnant, me too, or something along those lines.
Interesting.
Especially because I know that this is the thing that bothers me about it says a lot coming in so late to a show. Well, it wasn't too late. It was maybe a few years after it ended, maybe a year after it ended or so, that I like actually like got into watching it. But when everybody's like, "Oh, there has to be more, there has to be more," and I know that for years, Amy Sherman Palladino said that if she was ever going to do something, especially once this was officially announced, she kept like pretty much insisting that it was going to be this and that was it. 'Cause she said she always knew, because she never got to end the show the way she wanted to end it, which was with the final four words.
But do
So
we know that this was her end?
but if she always wanted it to be the final four words, and now we would get to hear the final four words, I I always just assumed, yes, this is how she always wanted. I mean, there was a few things she said since it came out that there was, one or two things that she wishes that they hadn't done in the final season of the show proper, because she wasn't there for that. But pretty much this is, she always said, she had her ending in mind, and she knew what the final four words would be. So if it's not the end, then those aren't the final four words, as she led us to believe for at least close to a year when it was finally announced that it was happening, let alone the years that they constantly teased. One day we want to do a Gilmore Girls thing. And I would be more upset with that than with people who are like, because like I'm, you know what I mean? I'm a little upset where people are like, I want, and obviously yes, I want more, but if that's how she always envisioned, and it comes, it's the writer creative side of me that's like, that's how she wants it to end, then that's where it should end.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not, it's not really up to me, you know. So when
Yeah.
she says like that's the end, like okay, that's the end, and then to all of a sudden be like, nope, got more, you know.
Well, who knows? I don't know. I I'm happy with what I got. I Some people get very. Can you hear my cat being crazy?
Not really.
Okay, good. Just rocketing around. Some people get extremely almost territorial about, and you see this in Lost too, about their TV shows. Like, there's a certain ownership that happens in a fan that almost crosses a line sometimes.
I dance across that line quite a lot.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Lost, Buffy, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that's okay though. But when you take it to the point of, yelling at a creator on Twitter, it's like, oh, like my favorite book series is the Outlander series, And people are all the time like berating the author online for decisions she made. And she's like, "Well, this is mine. I get to do that."
Yeah.
So I don't know. It really makes me angry when people try to tell creators what they're supposed to do.
Ron Moore writes that TV series, doesn't he? The guy who did the
He
updated
does.
Galactica.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Um,
So good.
I Bear McCreary does the music. He did the music for Galactica. He does the music for that show. I have him and Michael Giacchino as two of my stations on Pandora, and I pretty much always
Man.
have it on shuffle. And actually today I heard a thing, and I thought that you liked that show, and I was gonna message you, but I had already messaged you and hadn't heard back at that point, so I didn't want to be like
Yeah, I'm
bombing
back.
your inbox. Um,
Jeez. Get out of my inbox.
but yeah, there was a thing from there was a song, because I don't know, because there's just like musical pieces, you know what I mean? But there was a thing from Outlander, and I'm like, I think she likes that show,
Oh
so
my God, I love that show.
kind of ironic that that happened today.
Hmm. Yeah. We could have a whole show on that, but I don't want to subject anybody to that. I like Outlander.
I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
It's scandalous. Anyway, uh, Gilmore Girls is what we're talking about. The cat just threw the cat toy on my butt. There you go. Um, yeah. So I think I enjoyed Kirk a lot in this reiteration. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Sorry.
No, it's fine. For anyone listening, let's just put this out there straight up. If you follow me on my social media accounts, you will notice that. Well, you will now know in retrospect that when I on my Instagram, and I think it went through to my Twitter, when I reposted a picture of the underscore gypsy cat under well, whatever Megan said previously, and she'll reiterate it again at the end. I regrammed a picture of the cat in question. So now when you're listening to this episode, you'll go, "Oh, that's when they recorded this." So yeah.
That's who Megan is yelling at. Okay. Are you spoiled, little one? Yes, you spoiled. Yes, you are. Sorry. Sorry I did that just now. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I get it.
Yeah,
It's
she's
a parent thing.
she's my baby. Oh God, everyone, don't listen to me now. Anyway, so what specifically did you want to talk about regarding the marvelousness of Gilmore Girls?
See, I have a somewhat different opinion.
Oh.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, no.
Before those mean comments come in from Megan and the YouTube fans, it was very good. I liked most of the way that the ending of it overall. There was just a lot of things that I had issues with.
Go on.
Um, it seemed like more characters. It didn't. If it was to be the end, right? And again, I understand not everything in life ends happy. Life goes on. We know that. And in my opinion, that's how most good series should end. Unless it's, a situation. You and I both know what I'm trying to not say. I think. Um,
Yes.
but, most shows, it's with the characters continuing on. Their life continues. Friends ended, and it's just they're leaving the apartment, and their life goes on, but we only got this 10-year window into these people's lives. One Tree Hill, which one of my favorite shows, it ends, but they've grown up, their kids are growing up, and their lives go on, and we just got this short window into their lives. And in a sense, if they were going to end it on a cliffhanger, I understand that that's the case. But most times you want to end the it even if it goes on, I would think you would want to end that on a more cheerful note. Whereas I felt in Gilmore Girls A Year in the Life, too many characters ended on a negative or a sad note.
That's true. But that's kind of how Amy Sherman Palladino rolls, in my opinion. Like
Yeah, see, I
she,
just I wasn't a fan of that part of it. I mean, there was obviously other parts that I wasn't so big on, but like to me, the only two people that, well, realistically three people that
mm.
got a happy ending in that would be Luke, Lorelai, and Kirk.
Kirk.
Well, because he got the approval from them. That's like all he's really
Yeah,
ever wanted. I mean, he's
yeah.
gotten it before, whatever, but like he did good and he got the text from them. And like that's a moment where you're just like, yeah,
Go
hooray for
Kirk.
Kirk.
Yeah, poor Kirk. He needs all the love he can get. So,
Exactly. So
yeah.
when he ended on a happy note, like that made me go, yeah. But
Yeah.
most of the other characters, I just like it just seemed that there was too many. It was too much, too negative for the rest of them. You know.
Yeah. Man. Damn
Now I
it.
see in the first part of this two-part thing, you were bringing the show down. Now I am bringing the show
You
down.
know, I
So
we need that equilibrium. See, I did it again.
for those who don't know, that's something that Megan referenced because I haven't cut that episode yet, so I might actually cut that whole part out. I don't know yet. Maybe I will just so that I can reiterate it here. Megan spoke about that on the most recent episode of Lost with Friends that we recorded,
Yeah.
actually last night from this.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a fan of equilibrium. I'm gonna stop saying that for a week now.
I've said the word reiterate about 1,000 times in this so
I
far, so.
I have not noticed.
That's the drinking game, by the way, folks. If you want to go back from part one and part two, well, I think it's mostly been in part two. Take a sip every time. Okay, here we go. Ready? So you could go back and listen to these, and I get more views. Um, Anytime that Megan stops talking to me and starts and gets distracted by the cat,
That's a
take a
lot.
drink. Anytime the words hell yes or hell yeah or whatever are used, finish your drink. Anytime I say reiterate or some variation thereof, take a drink. And anytime that one of us wants to reestablish that we are discussing Gilmore Girls or animal farts, finish your drink. So that's two take a drinks and two finish your drinks for the entirety of parts 1 and part 2.
Or any time that I forget what I'm talking about.
That goes for me as well.
Uh,
Which, if between the knowing what we spoke about last night when we were recording Lost with Friends, most people are going to fall on the spectrum in between you or I in terms of how they handle drinks, because you are a lightweight
oh my
versus me,
God.
who I can have 11 Jack and Cokes and not even get a buzz.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you. Yeah. I am a complete and total failure at drinking. It's extremely sad.
It happens.
So, that's all right. I'll get over it. Um,
See, to me, what that says is you have to build up a tolerance, which just gives you license to just drink all the time.
Yeah. Well, so
That was a joke.
no, yeah, but I'm going deeper than that now.
Of course you are.
Sorry. No, I used to be able to drink things. Um, Now I'm not so good at it. That's all.
Yeah, I have a comment, and I know that you would take it as a joke, but I don't want to offend
Let's
the
just not go.
internet
Yeah, the internet.
because I
They're
need
just
those
waiting.
views.
They're waiting.
Well, to be fair, if they heard any of part one, I can't believe they listened to part two.
Really? You're still here? Go do something.
Yeah, we already got your view count, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, go say hi to your family. I'm petting my
Um,
cat. Take a drink. Oh, there you
so
go.
your thoughts, Gilmore Girls, final four words overall.
I was
What you
kind of
got
angry. I
you
don't think Rory acted like Rory would have acted. I
in the
think,
whole thing?
yeah, I don't think that's very Rory. I think she is more of, and yeah, people go through crises and act differently than that you think they would. I get that. But with Rory, she was always very school and career minded. And so I don't think she would just be floating like she was. So that kind of disappointed me. And with the final four words, I don't know. I expected something more. I wasn't disappointed with the series as a whole. Definitely enjoyed it. But
I
yeah.
mean, I enjoyed it as well. Maybe if I watch it again, because like I said, I only watched it the one time. So maybe if I watched it again, I might have a different reaction. But watching it through the first time and letting it marinate,
Mm,
uh, you know, for all this time until I finally got to discuss it with somebody. Um, yeah, I'm looking at it from a very negative standpoint because to tag up on what you said about Rory, um, to an extent I agree she was very school oriented, but I think one when she got back together with Dean, yeah. Um,
yeah, Dean.
Once he said he lives in Scranton now, so I'm okay with that.
Dean.
That's like 20 to 40 minutes from here.
Yeah, maybe he works at a paper company.
Ha.
Ha.
And actually, I don't know if you watch Supernatural, but honestly, he looks like he literally they called cut on Supernatural. He got in his car, drove from Vancouver to LA, filmed that one scene and then drove back cuz he looks exactly like Sam Winchester.
I think
And
a
I mean,
lot
I
of
understand,
actors
yeah,
did
it's the
do
same
that.
actor and everything, but he looks like the outfit and everything. He looks like he just got walked right off that set.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I didn't watch Supernatural, but I hear it's good.
It's very good. It's probably not so much in terms of the girl power femaleness, but it's I would probably say it is the worthy successor to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
Oh. Hmm. I may have to watch that. I don't know. I'm so picky.
Oh, believe me, I understand. I will tell you though, if you're going to watch it, depending on what you look for in a show, if you look for serialized stories, it takes a bit for that show.
Yeah.
That's what I look for, and I started watching it because everybody was like, "Oh, I'm watching this. This show is great," and I'm like, "Yeah, Buffy and Vampire Diaries are enough for me." And everybody's like, "No, no, Paul, you'd really like this show and whatever." So I was like, "All right, you know what? People people hadn't built it up nearly as much as they're building up some of these other shows that I'm pretty much to the point where I'm going to refuse to watch them for at least, a few years. Hint, hint, Shameless and Stranger Things. That's right, Internet. I said it. I also don't like The Walking Dead,
Wow.
so take that and, think about that for a minute.
I don't like The
Um,
Walking Dead either.
but I wasn't a big fan of Breaking Bad either. See, there I go, just alienating
Oh my God.
anybody.
Everyone hates you. You're gonna get egged at Lost 2017.
I am, and you know what? I don't care. I'll have a room where there's a shower, so what do I care? Um, but what was I saying? Oh, with Supernatural, I see. I got lost in a conversation. No pun intended. Take a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it starts out very monster of the week for a while. Like the first season and a half, almost 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons are very much monster of the week. It wasn't until towards the end of season 2, beginning of season 3, where they really started to get more into the serialized aspect of what the story eventually becomes, that I was like, okay, now I want to see the next episode. Whereas, I'm like, I'll get to the next episode. And everybody told me, and I know this as a person who watches a lot of TV, like you have to watch those early ones to understand the later ones, especially when, characters come back or they reference certain things or whatever. But it was, and of course, at the end of one of the seasons, they kind of wrap up what started to be the main storyline. So then for like a year or two after that, they, because they didn't really expect that they were going to get renewed. So they kind of fumble around with what the story is, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, as a series, I would definitely, if you're into that type of show, like I said, like a Buffy or not so much, more the supernatural elements of X-Files, not the like alien invasion aspect of it.
I love X-Files.
I mean, if you're into those types of things, I would say Supernatural is probably a show for you.
Okay, I gotta get into that.
Uh,
Um, yeah. Anyway, Gilmore Girls.
yeah,
Sorry.
so
See how I just cut you off? I was like, no, no more Supernatural. We're Gilmore Girlsing.
that's fine. That's, it's called Animal Farts and Gilmore Girls, so part
Ah,
2.
I've only farted once during this conversation.
Um so yeah, there was just I wasn't like I thought honestly, if I was Lorelai, I would be more pissed than normal at Emily, because all of a sudden with this random family, she's going to start being mother of the year.
Yeah. I don't
That
know.
would anger me more than like anything else, cuz that's all she ever wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. I always felt bad for Emily.
Explain.
Go on. Um, I don't know. Like, she led a very sheltered existence. And I guess I have a lot of family members like that. And so I see that mirrored there, and I know how difficult that is. Like, my dad was kind of a black sheep and had parents like Richard and Emily. And my mom more so. Oh my God, my grandmother was mean, mean, mean. So, like, I see where Lorelai was coming from, but I also see it from the grandparents' side as well, where there are expectations that were foisted upon them. So they think they're doing what's best for their child by also foisting those expectations upon their children and not really changing the status quo. It's very difficult to explain at 10 at night.
No, I mean, I actually understand exactly what you're talking about, but
Okay, good.
I also find the irony that at the beginning of the original series that Lorelai has done the same thing but opposite with her own daughter.
Yeah.
She wanted her daughter to be more free and not have all of those expectations, but then Rory gets a little taste of that life and she ends up liking it a little bit. And I always found that kind of, because then she realizes, like, oh crap, I kind of did the same thing but from the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, I mean, I have no problem with Emily, you know, actually no, you know what? I do have a problem with her all of a sudden
Trust me,
becoming.
I have a problem with her.
I do have a. I mean, you're right. Like there is a bit of sympathy to be had for that character, but you know what? I think she should have started maybe treating her own daughter better than some random family, you know?
Yeah.
And I do have a problem with that. Come at me, Gilmore Girls fans. I don't care. I've clearly alienated everybody else, so why not you as well?
No, I don't think you're alienating them. I think that they will probably agree with you and that I'm probably the one that is alienating because everyone loves to hate Emily. That's what they do.
Well, no, because like I said, I do agree that there is a sympathy to be had for her because, like she said, at several points, she never got to be her own person,
Yeah.
and that's something in that type of world where you go from, not to not to sound sexist, but it really does happen. You go from your father's house to your husband's, or from your father's house to, like, what is it? Rachel's mom on Friends says it at one point. She's like, I never lived on my own. I went from my father's house to the sorority house to my husband's house.
Yeah.
And so that does happen, and so it makes sense that she wants to find out who she is, and as horrible as it is, and um it's very sad that Edward Herman wasn't there.
I know.
um that moment of silence for him. Moment of silence is really difficult to do on a podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just
um
chilled. Um, yeah, I like how Emily's story ended in the new series because she's finding her own independence. I like that. She's frightening children, and I like that as well.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't like the fact that she's, you know, now I'm gonna be mom of the year.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she was trying to be mom of the year.
But she let, slowly over the course of the year, she let not Gypsy's family move into the whole, the whole thing.
Not Gypsy's family.
Well, it's the same actress, which I picked up, by the way. I do want to clarify this. I picked up on that almost instantly. Apparently, it took lots of people on the internet a while to figure out that was Rose Abdoo. Like,
Was it really?
huh?
Hold on. Seriously?
You okay?
No, like, was that really her?
Yeah. You didn't
Oh
know
my,
that?
no.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, Rose Abdoo. She
Holy
played
crap.
Gypsy. Yeah.
Huh.
See, that's the thing. I'm like, how do people not? I mean, granted, my parents taught me at a very young age, oh, that person was holding the briefcase in the other hand a moment ago. and I very early on learned what a continuity error was, or oh, that's that same actor who was this, or whatever. So I know almost instantly. I can listen to lots of commercials and be like, oh, I know whose voice that is, or whatever. Which once I got a little bit older, I started doing kind of on my own by going, oh, I know, reading the opening credits of something. Oh, I know that writer or that producer or director from this other thing that they did, because I'm a nerd.
Oh, I feel like you should have a cape.
A cape?
The way you said that, I saw a cape billowing out behind you.
Okay. Um, but yeah, so like all of a sudden, what's her Emily starts letting not Gypsy's family move in to her. Was it that was what she bought a new house, right?
Yeah, that was later on in the episodes.
And
Her beach house. She, I think, already had that. No, that was the one that the dude died and they got to take, right?
I think so, cause she start dating the guy from Twin Peaks.
Yes. I've never seen that, by the way.
It's really messed up. That's a show where like you have to want to. If you're not, I know people who are like instantly hooked by anything David Lynch. It took me a while to finally sit down and go, I am, because it's one that you have to focus on and you have to want to see it.
Hmm.
But if you watch it, honestly, all jokes aside, if you watch it and you, like you said, you're a fan of the X-Files, I know for a fact you're a fan of Lost, and there are so many other shows where you watch Twin Peaks 1990 to 91, 92, and then the prequel movie came out a few years later, but you watch that show, and a lot of the shows that like we watch and that like fandoms cross over a lot, like I said, like Lost, X-Files, Buffy, things like that, a lot of the things you will see were in one way or another influenced heavily by Twin Peaks, which of course one could argue a lot of that stuff was in, a lot of Twin Peaks and all that was influenced heavily by like Dark Shadows. But,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to see one of the original places where a lot of that stuff happens, not the exact stuff, but you know what I'm saying, Twin
Yeah.
Peaks. But yeah, she gets together with that guy.
Hmm.
He also played Satan um, in Reaper on the CW a few years back.
I've never seen that. I've seen him in other stuff. Wasn't he in Wayne's World?
Once again, the internet is going to hate me because I've never seen that
Ah,
movie all the way through.
go away.
This is my show.
Sorry.
No, I've never seen that
Uh,
movie all the way through.
no, he was in The Chase, wasn't he? Oh God. Hold on. Chase cast.
What's his?
That
I,
was
I
like,
know his name too.
yeah, Ray Wise.
Ray Wise. All I could think was Leland Palmer, but I know that wasn't right. That was his character in Twin Peaks.
Yeah. Oh man.
He also
He was
played.
in
He was in
what else?
How I Met Your Mother as well.
Hmm.
He played the second version of Robin Scherbatsky's father.
He was in RoboCop. I'm just reading the internet now. Okay. He was in the 1982 version of Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Deep cuts here.
I know. It's crazy.
But he's
Oh
one of, I
gosh.
mean, he's
Do you ever watch
obviously a
House?
prolific actor, but he's also one of those guys. He's like a step above a character actor,
Yeah.
but he is definitely one of those guys who you point and go, "Oh, that's that guy from that thing."
Yeah. He might not have been in Wayne's World.
Well, look up Wayne's World and see if Ray Wise was in the cast list
Eh,
of that.
oh my gosh, you're getting
Everybody who
soft.
knows Wayne's World backwards and forwards, which is actually a lot of my friends, they're going to be listening to this going, "You two idiots!"
Yeah, basically. They're like, I hate this Megan girl. Go away.
Yeah, but
Ray
then
Wise was
I'll be
born in
getting
Ohio.
bombed with, "How have you never seen this movie, Paul?"
Yeah, they'll be focusing on that.
To
Yeah,
be
he was
fair,
not in Wayne's World.
who are
I
you
always,
thinking of?
I don't remember. Maybe it was Wayne's World 2 that somebody similar was in. Oh God, I don't know. Anyway, I miss Wayne's World. I look like Garth. I should be in Wayne's World.
I know that you think that. I've seen you post that several times.
Yeah. Anyway, Gilmore Girls. This whole thing was supposed to be based on Gilmore Girls, and we have failed to stay on topic.
Which means
So
everybody has to drink.
every
Um,
drink. You
no, I
should
think
bed.
I mean, I kind of let my feelings out about it. Okay, really, really quickly, because I'm looking at the time, and very about 10, maybe 10 minutes or so. It might be time unless we want to do part three.
I
Um,
think I could stay awake.
I don't. I mean, I don't have work tomorrow, so I really, I'll record multiple hours. It just make it. You know what it does? It ensures me that I don't necessarily have to get any Paul and all recording done for a few weeks if I have multiple weeks worth of content. Um, really quick, okay. Liked the way that Luke and Lorelai ended. Liked the way that Kirk ended. Kind of in between on Emily because I think it's great that she's moving on, but not that she's not the great mother for Lorelai. Uh, Paris and Doyle had a crappy ending. They left it, not so great with the two of them. I'm in the middle with Rory. She kept cheating on a guy named Paul, so that kind of that cuts deep. Um,
Sorry, the whole Paul thing just made me so angry. Like,
yeah, me too.
well, yeah, you for a different reason, but like, how could you be that much of a jerk?
Okay, that's you know what? That's my thing with her in this. I said about how once she because see there we go. I got very off topic because I started talking supernatural and stuff. Um, she was, as you said many minutes ago, she was very school and career focused. Then she got together with Dean while he was married. And I think that was one of the things that kind of threw her off her entire game because then she started working for Mitchum Huntsberger and she was like, "Oh, well, I've always only done what's expected of or what's asked of me." And he's like, "Yeah, but you can't do that if you want to make it." And as much as he was a jerk, he was right,
Yeah.
you know? So she I think she was too, how does that go? It's something about fish and ponds, not to, bring back memories of that fish eating another fish, but
Oh God.
so
That was the worst. Why did you do that to me?
something I'll have to include the video in the
Oh,
description so people can watch along at that point. But something about fish and ponds and whatever, and she was very much like I don't think she was ready for the quote unquote real world. And also in this whole thing, she supposed to be, because by the end of it she's supposed to be the same age that Lorelai was when we meet her in the first episode. So that would be like early 30s, right?
yeah.
Okay. So she's I would say late 20s, early 30s cuz it's only the span of 1 year, not counting the bit of flashbacks, but it's pretty much in the span of 1 year. So late 20s, early 30s. For the most part, a person as educated and intelligent as her, they're not doing that I don't have a home. I'm going to, we're not necessarily going to do the we're only attached when we're together, when we're together thing, whatever. That's, to me, that is an early 20s thing or like a midlife crisis thing. And
Yeah.
she's in the middle of both of those things. She shouldn't be still there. That shows a stunted growth to me.
No, I totally agree.
And that very much bugged me about her character portrayal throughout this whole, because it didn't really seem like her. And a lot of people, I know, they like to blame Logan. They think that Logan is a terrible influence, and I am not the biggest fan of the Logan character. Like, not really a fan at all, actually. I don't think he was. I know a lot of people who don't like him, and I know a lot of people who think that he was the perfect fit for her because he was also kind of that world of the grandparents, but also, but he wanted to be more of the world like Lorelai and Rory, where he was like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I don't know. I just don't really like that character at all.
I don't
Um,
either.
okay, good. Uh,
But I do like Jill's
but even he ended on a negative note in this.
because he still loves Rory. It's so sad. Why couldn't they just get together? Why? Why?
Well, because now they're cousins
Well,
and they live in
no, they're
Connecticut,
not.
not West
They're not
Virginia.
cousins. They're not cousins now. Oh, they are cousins. For some reason, I thought they'd be brother and sister, but that's incorrect. They're cousins. But, uh, by the way, I did not miss that West Virginia blow.
Good, because I was hoping you didn't.
Thanks, Paul.
You got it.
I'm tiring of your poopiness. I've got nothing.
Um.
At this point,
Also,
I'm just like poopiness. Ha
yeah.
ha ha.
I see. My mother is of the opinion that Jess, if this show were to continue, or this is in her own mind, and I would assume a lot of people, that Jess will be in the universe where the show does continue on. He will be the Luke to her Lorelai. Not
Oh yeah,
necessarily meaning that they will get together one day, but he will just be that male influence on the kid.
yeah, I think so.
I mean,
I
yeah,
think
I
he would.
don't.
He, I don't know. I don't know how that drama would progress because you know that there would be drama. Well, it's a show. There's going to be drama, but I mean, like, will he come to accept the child, kind of thing?
I think he would because it's her, because it's her kid.
Yeah, but he would definitely
Um,
have problems with Logan coming around.
if it is Logan's, it could be Paul's. It
It could
could
be
be
the
the
Wookiees.
Wookiee.
That was so funny. Oh my gosh, the
That's
Wookiees.
that's the that's the hashtag, by the way.
Yeah, it
Wookiee
could
is
be
the
the Wookiees.
papa.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
know.
I was wowed into silence. And the
um,
crowd
but
rejoiced.
what's that?
And the crowd rejoiced.
Yes. But see, I'm also of the opinion, and I know you and I somewhat differ here because this part we have talked about previously off mic. Well, kind of off mic. Um, I am not of the belief that she needs to or even should end up with anybody, Rory. I know a lot of people think, oh, she needs to end up with Jess, and you just said before, why couldn't they just end up together? I I think now she is. I don't really think that it matters so much because it shouldn't be about her and a guy. Now, well, one, it should have been about her actually growing up, I think. But
Yeah.
now it should be her and what did you say?
I said, yeah, she should have grown up.
Um but it should be about her and her kid and focusing on being the best mother that she can be.
I think while I really just want Rory and Jess to get together, I think you are right.
I always love hearing that.
Bask in the glow of you being right. Sorry.
No,
Never
no, no need to apologize at all.
going
Or were
to
you
apologize.
apologizing to the listeners?
I was apologizing to the listeners, yes. Because now your head
Most
is inflated and your headphones won't fit.
I was actually just gonna say now I have it on record that you admitted that I was right. So maybe I'll make that the notification sound for whenever you message me. You were right. You were
I'm
right.
never,
You were right.
never ever messaging you. It's not going to happen. It's over now. The messaging
um,
is done.
yeah, but yeah. So that's my opinion. Okay. So wait, who did I miss anybody? Oh,
Uh, Suki, we could
Suki.
talk about. Yeah.
Um, one, I'm definitely glad that the whatever problems were going on behind the scenes got resolved so that she was able to be there at least for one scene. Obviously, I think we would have liked to have her there for more or the entirety.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought her whole storyline was really weird. Like, what she's like living in the woods for
Yeah.
some random reason. Like, and she's helping somebody else grow crops like Jackson used to grow crops.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
It made no sense to me.
I was super confused by her whole storyline. I don't understand. Um, yeah, it's frustrating because and they did little teasers where like I think it was in winter where Laura there was the festival and Lorelai approached Jackson. I don't know if it was winter or when, but and he said, "Oh, Sookie's not here," and they did this like really obvious, "Hey, we're gonna dangle this in front of you, and you're gonna wonder where Sookie is."
Right.
Yeah, that I found that rather annoying. So
So
yeah.
overall, I think I'm gonna do it because it's clock shelves, so a clock. So instead, I think I'm gonna do a rating out of 12. What would you give this rating on the clock out of 12? Gilmore Girls, a year in the life out of 12. Megan, what you got?
I would say a 10 because it wasn't perfect and I had a few qualms, but other than that, I cried a lot and I laughed a lot, and that's mostly what I'm looking for. I want people to make me cry.
Oh, don't invite that when on the internet.
I know, it's way too easy.
I would probably have to go with. I don't know. I'm not sure whether to give it 9.45 or the whole 10.
No, you're going. I didn't know we were adding quarter hours here.
I don't know. I just made that up as I was. No, yeah. You know what? I think I'll give it I think I'll give it a 10 as well
Ah,
because
yeah.
there
You should do 9:45 just to
because
be.
there were obviously, as anyone who's listening to this can tell, I had some issues with it.
I think you had more issues with it than I did.
Um.
No
So
comment there.
what was that?
No comment there.
No, I did. I
Retort.
think I did have more issues with it than you did.
Hmm.
So can you to close us out before we say our final goodbyes? Unless you want to keep going, which that's completely up to you.
Oh, I'm gonna fall asleep soon because I'm a granny.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Um, no, it's fine. So before I do let you go though, can you give us a few more if you still have the chart open? Can you give us a few more details about animal farts?
Hold on. Animal farts. Where's my database? There it is. Okay. One moment, please. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got that ad. Okay. No, I don't want to. Okay.
Is there? What
Uh,
did? Were you? How were you able to click out of it? I couldn't figure it out before.
oh, that is a secret. That's our cliffhanger for next episode. Oh my gosh. No, you hate me.
Never, never.
um, nay. Okay, let me find a good description here. Um, ooh, how about man? Okay, parakeets, maybe. Which is funny because under the birds it says no, but parakeets are listed as a maybe. Then maybe they can fart. And it is accompanied with a story that says, my friend's parakeet farted in my face when I was 9 years old. Note, literature disputes this. See birds, which are not purported to fart. So,
So wait, is
believe
that the
it
guy
when you say
writing the
it.
thing says when he was
Yeah,
9, or is that data collected from someone else?
I don't know who wrote this. Is there a source? Verified. Okay, let's see. Doesn't have a verification, nor a Twitter handle. So, Anonymous was farted upon by a parakeet.
Okay.
There.
So there we go, folks. We have brought it full circle. Animal farts and Gilmore Girls. That was part 2. If you've gotten this far, you're such a trooper.
You are.
Thank you so much. Obviously, Megan is someone who, as I said at the beginning, features heavily on the Clock Shelves Entertainment YouTube channel.
I feel like I was a
She.
downer this time, though.
What was that?
But I feel like I was a downer this time, though.
No, no, no. It was great. Not everything, as we know, life goes on. It doesn't always have to end. It doesn't always have to be happy. You want people to make you cry, so clearly you want other people to be down as well.
Actually,
Um,
I used to make children cry when I was a teacher, going full circle again.
there you go.
There you
Which
go.
that's a story that I will have to tell. That's the cliffhanger. A story that I
That's
will have to tell you next time is the at least one memorable story about one memorable substitute teacher that we had at my high
oh,
school.
I'm gonna get mad during the story. I can feel it.
Um, so there you go, folks. You'll have to message, comment, Megan, come back, Megan, come back, so she knows that not only did you enjoy this conversation, but that you want to hear me tell her this story about my substitute teacher in high school. Um,
Also, if you cried during this podcast, please comment at the comment section below.
Absolutely. And tell us how many drinks you had when you've gone back and listened to parts 1 and 2 after the drinking rules were established. Let us know how many, because I'm probably not going to go back and drink during these, but I want to know, how did it go? How blotto did you get? Um thank you everybody for listening. Megan, you want to plug your stuff again?
Okay. I have a website. It's adventuresinverdance.com. Um, I have a cat who has an Instagram. She's pretty boss, and her Instagram is the underscore gypsy underscore cat underscore. Um, and you can find me under the hashtag does it fart.
And you can find me under the hashtag Wookie is the Papa. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you once again, Megan, for talking with me for such a long time, since we recorded both parts in one sitting. Go get some sleep, Megan. For everybody else, whenever you're listening to this, have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, bye.
Hey, everybody, it's Paul, your host for most of the shows on the goes. Okay, that was terrible. But hopefully that episode you just listened to wasn't. So if you enjoyed it, how about you click that little like button, maybe give us a subscribe, and share it to your friends. Thanks. Thanks.